The first and the second problem that we have solved are pertaining to normal depreciation and additional depreciation. Now we'll see what the third problem deals with. Okay, question 3. Rameshwaram after purchase put to use on 15/12/2017 a machine worth INR 3 lakhs which is eligible for a depreciation of 15% under the Act. So from the face of it, the second line itself says he has put it to use for on 15/12/2017. That is, he is entitled to a depreciation of only 15% of what the asset is entitled. That is, he is entitled to only 7.5% and not 15%. Okay, because the asset has been put to use for a period of less than 180 days. Now subsequently, he sold the machine to Ganesham on 1/1/2019. That is, he has purchased the asset and he put it to use on 15th December 2017. That is, during the year 2017-18 he has purchased it. Okay, this is the point where you have to highlight. And the machine cost is 3 lakhs, which is further eligible at a depreciation of 15%. And then he sold it. He sold it to Mr. Ganesham on 1/1/2019. That is in the probably in the second year, 17, 18, 18, 19. Yeah, in the year 18, 19 he sold it for an amount of 3,20,000. So highlight all these figures. The fair market value on the date on which he has sold it is 2,50,000. Who, after having used the machine for his business purpose, again sold it back to Rameshwaram. Sold it back. So what are you supposed to note here? He has Mr. Rameshwaram, he has purchased an asset, used it for a while, and he has sold it to Mr. Ganesham. And Ganesham, after using it for a certain period, he has sold it back to Ramesham on 15/11/2019. You should make note of the dates, which is very important. For an amount of 3,10,000. Okay, now keeping these key points in mind, let's go forward. And before we go forward, you should understand, you should recollect explanation 3 and explanation 4 of section 43 subsection 1. What it says, what do they deal with? The one deals with when an asset is purchased for a price greater than that what it holds in the market. And explanation 4 deals with reacquisition of the asset which has been already sold. Now here Rameshwaram has reacquired the asset which he has already sold it. So explanation 4 applies there. Whereas in case of purchase by Ganesham, that is, he has purchased it at a price of 3,20,000, whereas the fair market value is only 2,50,000. As per explanation 3, what the assessing officer feels is whenever you purchase an asset over and above that what it actually holds in the market, he feels that your only intention is to claim higher depreciation. Therefore, what he does is he will only consider the fair market value on the date of the transaction. That is explanation 3. And when you repurchase your asset which has already been sold, in that particular case, the value of that particular asset, the written down value of that asset on the date on which it has been sold by Mr. Ramesh will be taken into consideration, or the price at which it has been reacquired, whichever is lower, will be considered as a value. And here he has given it as 3,10,000. Okay, here he has given it as 3,10,000. That is, it has been repurchased at 3,10,000. But you will only consider fair market value, that is 2,50,000. That's not 2,50,000, the written down value. Okay, let's go forward. You'll understand it much more with much more clarity. Now he's asking you compute the amount of allowable depreciation, okay, and chargeable capital gain, if any, for the assessment year AY 2018-19. This is a year in which Mr. Ramesh has sold it to Mr. Ganesh. Okay, to 2021. We have to calculate for financial years, you have to calculate depreciation for financial years 2017-18 to 2019-20. Assuming that this was the only machine in the block of assets held by both Rameshwaram and Ganesham. So they don't have any other asset in the block of assets. Okay, now going forward, computation of allowable depreciation chargeable to capital gains in case of Rameshwaram. Now for a second we'll bring down that problem here. Yes. Yeah. So computation of allowable depreciation chargeable to capital gains in case of Rameshwaram. Now you will calculate for 3 financial years 17-18, 18-19 and 19-20. Now your opening WDV is considered as nil because you don't hold any asset in this particular block. Now what is the actual cost of the asset that has been acquired? He has told that you have acquired an asset for 3 lakhs on 15/12/2017. It is very clearly given, and therefore you have been using it for the financial 2017-18 for a period of less than 180 days. Alright, so written down value for depreciation. Your written down value for depreciation is 3 lakhs. Okay, and your depreciation as given in the question, basically this qualifies even if it does not give you the percentage in the question. This is actually considered as the other plant and machinery because it is not specific. It is neither a motor vehicle or neither it is a windmill or anything. It is just a general machinery. So it is other plant and machinery and it qualifies for 15% depreciation, and also it is given in the question also as 15%. So when you calculate 15% on 3 lakh, it constitutes to 45,000 and you are only entitled to 50% of that. That is 22,500. 50% of 45,000, that is 22,500. So your closing WDV written down value is 2,77,500. Now in the subsequent year, for the financial year 2018-19, your closing WDV becomes the opening WDV here. In this particular year, you have not acquired any new asset. So you will put a dash here, and then you have sold your asset. You have sold your asset to Mr. Ganesham for a value of 3,20,000. Now you will be wondering, when I have sold it for 3,20,000, why have I mentioned here as 2,77,500? It is very clear, and you have to understand that an asset can never be negative. Okay, it can be nil. Okay, but it can never be negative. So therefore you will restrict the amount to 2,77,000. Okay, however, since you have sold it for an amount of 3,20,000, 3,20,000, you will calculate capital gain on the difference. That is 3,20,000 minus 2,77,500. As per section 50, you will receive short-term capital gain, and your short-term capital gain here is 42,500. Okay, so you have to also mention it here, though the examiner knows it's your part to mention it, so you mention it below. Block can be nil, but it can never be negative. Okay, now you have sold your asset and you have no asset here for the year ended 2018-19. However, in the subsequent year also you don't have any opening balance. Subsequently, you have purchased your asset back from Mr. Ganesham at the rate of 3,10,000. But then, as per explanation 4, either your written down value method, your written down value or the price at which you have purchased, whichever is lower, will be considered. At the time of sale, the written down value is 2,77,500. So this will be considered as actual cost of asset acquired here. Okay. Now, this will be your written down value for calculating depreciation also. And again, here also, you will calculate only 50%. You are only entitled to 50% of the depreciation that you are actually permitted to. Here, when you look here, you have purchased it back on 15/11/2019. That is in the financial year 2019-20. You have used your asset for a period of only less than 180 days. Therefore, you are entitled to only 7.5%. That is 2,77,500 into 7.5%. That is 20,813 for the financial year. And then coming to Mr. Ganeshan's opening WDV is nil for the financial year 2018-19. You will what is the actual cost of the asset, though he has purchased it for an amount of, one second, where is this? Yeah, he has purchased a machine for 3,20,000. The fair market value is only 2,50,000. So as per explanation 3, this will be considered. Explanation 3 to section 43 subsection 1, you will consider the fair market value. Therefore, here he is calculating the actual cost of the asset to be 2,50,000 and not the other amount given in the question. Now, the written down value for depreciation is 2,50,000. However, when you calculate depreciation on the above asset, he has used this asset for a period of less than 180 days. Therefore, you will only calculate 7.5%. That is 2,50,000 into 15% is 37,500. Out of that, you will be entitled to only 50% of that entire amount. That constitutes to 18,750. So your closing written down value is 2,31,250, which will again further be your opening written down value. And then you will sell this particular asset again. That is, it is being reacquired by Mr. Rameshwaram. Okay. Though this written down value is 2,31,250, Mr. Rameshwaram is purchasing it for almost, I believe it is 3,10,000 as mentioned here in the question. Okay. So for financial year 2019-20, Mr. Ganesham also will generate a capital gain, that is short term capital gain. That is, his written down value is 2,31,250, but the cost of the asset for what he has sold is 3,10,000. So the difference amount is 78,750, on which you have to pay short term capital gain. And whatever we have mentioned, whatever we have discussed should form part of the working notes. That is what we have mentioned as per explanation 4 to section 43 subsection 1, where an asset which had once belonged to the SSE and had been used by him for the purpose of his business and thereafter ceased to be his property by reason of transfer or otherwise is reacquired by him, the total cost of the asset shall be lower of the following: actual cost when he first acquired the asset minus the depreciation actually allowable to him till the date of transfer, or actual price for which it is reacquired, that is 3,10,000. Therefore, in this case, the actual cost of the machinery reacquired by Rameshwaram would be 2,77,500, being lower of the two amounts given. And then the explanation 3, what I told you, the fair market value will be considered. Okay, that is all about question number 3. I hope you are clear. And then going to question number 4. Sudama Limited acquired a machine on 1/4/2019 for 10 crores by availing 70% loan facility from bank. The machine was put to regular use from 1st February 2020. That is, this also has been used for a period of less than 180 days. Interest on loan is charged at 12%. Before you decide whether it is dealing with depreciation or not, you have to read the entire question. So here, this particular question, it is not about 180 days or full year. This question is pertaining to which part of the expenditure should be capitalized and which one can you claim as expenditure, revenue expenditure. So in this question, what he is telling you is Sudama acquired a machine for 10 crores, out of which 7 crores is bank loan, 70% is bank loan. Okay, it was put to regular use from 1/2/2020. Interest on the loan is charged at 12% per annum. Now we are supposed to advise Sudama Limited on treatment of interest payment made on this loan and depreciation allowance for the assessment year 2020-21. Assume that this machinery is the only machinery in the said block of asset. Now, as per clause 3 subsection 1 of section 36, what you're supposed to note is, until the asset is put to use, any interest that is paid for a particular asset is to be capitalized. Only after the asset is being put to use, you have to consider it as an expenditure. Then you can transfer that particular amount to P&L account. Until the asset is put to use, you should not transfer it to P&L. Only after you put it to use, you can do that. Okay, so as per section 36 subsection 1 clause 3, interest paid in respect of the capital borrowed on acquisition of an asset for a period beginning from the date of borrowal for acquisition of an asset till the date on which such asset is put to use is not allowable as deduction, but has to be capitalized by adding the same to the cost of the asset. Therefore, interest at the rate of 12% for the period of 10 months from 1/4/2019 to 31/1/2020 on 7 crores being the amount of loan is to be capitalized, because asset is put to use only from 1st of February 2020. Till then you have to capitalize it. So what is your interest rate? Your cost of the machinery is 10 crores, out of which your bank loan itself is 7 crores. So on 7 crores he is charging a percentage of 12%. So for 10 months you are not using your asset. Okay, you have not put your asset to use. So for 10 months you have to capitalize it. Okay, so 70 lakhs has to be capitalized. So actual cost of the machinery will be 10 lakhs 70,000. These are simple questions which will be asked for short answer types. Then interest at the rate of 12% for 2 months, that is February and March 2020, after the asset is put to use, is allowable as deduction under section 36 subsection 1 clause 3. Okay. So depreciation further, since the machinery is put to use for less than 180 days, that was already told to you. So depreciation will restrict it to 50% of 15%. Okay. That is 10 lakhs 70,000 into 15% divided by 2. That is 7.5%. So when you calculate it, you will get 80 lakhs 25,000. On similar grounds, only 50% is permitted when it comes to additional depreciation also. That is, additional depreciation on plant and machinery, you can claim 20%. However, in this case, you can only claim 10% of, only 10%. That is 50% of 20%. So when you calculate normal and additional depreciation, you will arrive at 1 crore 87 lakhs 25,000. So this is all about capitalization and transferring of expenditure to profit and loss. And then coming to your fifth question, the business profit of Delta Limited, a tea growing and manufacturing company, is rupees 120 lakhs before deduction under section 33AB. For the assessment year 2021, it deposits rupees 50 lakhs with NABARD for claiming deduction under section 33AB. Okay, it wants to claim set off of brought forward business loss of rupees 40 lakhs of assessment year 2013-14. Find out the taxable income of Delta Limited for the assessment year 2020-21. Now, he is telling you Delta Limited is a tea growing company. Okay, it is a manufacturing company. Okay, and its profit is 120 lakhs before deduction of 33AB. Whenever you contribute, okay, to NABARD, you have to do any calculation prior to, you have to calculate your profit first prior to the investment that has been made under 33AB. Okay, so he himself has given in the question that prior to that it is 120 lakhs. Now it deposits 50 lakhs with NABARD for claiming deduction under section 33AB. It wants to claim set off of brought forward business loss of 40 lakhs of assessment year 2013-14. That is, in the year 2013-14 it has incurred some loss which has still not been set off and it is being carried forward. Now find out the taxable income of Delta Limited for 2021 after taking into consideration or after setting off as much as possible even the loss which has been carried forward till date. Now, what are the provisions of 33AB and what are the deductions that you can claim. And SSC, now let's see the solution. An SSC engaged in growing and manufacturing tea is entitled to deduction under section 33AB in respect of the amount which has been deposited, okay, which has been deposited with NABARD as per the scheme approved by the Tea Board. The deduction is lower of the following two amounts. That is, amount deposited to the account maintained with NABARD within 6 months from the end of the previous year. So here he has deposited within 6 months, okay, or before the due date for filing the return of income, whichever is earlier. Okay, now that is one condition. The second condition is either that or 40% of the profits of such business computed under the head PGBP before making any deductions under this section. That is 40% of 120 lakhs. Got it? Because he himself has told that it is prior to deduction of that amount. Okay, so lower of 1 or 2 we have to calculate it. Now, profit before deduction under section 33AB as given in the question is 120 lakhs. Less deduction under section 33AB for deposit to the amount with NABARD being lower of the following two amounts. Okay, the first amount which, just a second. Yeah, amount deposited with NABARD is 50 lakhs, okay, and 40% of business profit, that is 40% of 120 lakhs. When you calculate it, let's recheck. Yeah, it is 48 lakhs. So lower of these two amounts you are permitted to you're permitted as deduction. So 120 lakhs minus 48 lakhs, you arrive at 72 lakhs. Now as per rule 8, 60% of your income is considered as agricultural income. Okay, when you are a tea industry, when you are in a tea industry. Therefore, here 60% of the remaining 72 lakhs constitutes to 43 lakh 20,000. Alright, now when you deduct 43 lakhs 20,000 from 72 lakhs, you further arrive at 28 lakhs 80,000. Now you should not forget the amount which has been brought forward. Okay, you have an amount of 40 lakhs which has been brought forward. Out of that you are entitled to set off 28 lakhs 80,000. Therefore your taxable business income will be nil for the current year. Okay, you have to mention in your notes as well the balance business loss of 11 lakh 20,000 can be carried forward to the next year for set off against business income. So this is your fifth problem. Okay, we'll continue the sixth one in our next video. I'll see you guys. Bye.